Alright, so to determine the low flow channel or the bottom of the pond, we have to know a couple of things. One is the minimum depth or the maximum depth of our pond can be 6 feet from bottom of pond to top of pond. We're also going to put in a 6% on either side of the low flow channel through the pond at the bottom, and then come up at a 3-to-1. So to kind of determine how all this ties together, we're going to have to do some arbitrary configuration and drawing here. So we're going to start with a line string, and I'm going to call this the low or pond low flow channel. We're going to click OK. Now we want to come to the bottom of this pond. I'm going to start down here somewhere, and I'm just going to click a point here. Now for the elevation, I want that to be along, let's just say along this line. That's 443.9, right? That was our 1% offset from the top back of our pond, or the daylight here, or the projection from our road over to this point, down -1%. We're at 443.9. So we actually, I'm going to hit cancel, and I'm just going to put a -6 feet there and hit save. So that's the bottom of our low flow channel, and that's our starting point elevation. Now I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to pick some points by inserting a new segment. So I'm going to click, click one here. I'm just going to hit save. I'm going to click one up in here, and we'll hit save. We'll click one over here, save it, and then we'll come where we're going to close out over in here somewhere. Okay, and we'll save that as well. Now at the top, I'm going to switch over to vertical, and I know that I need a 0.5% slope from this point up to here. So my incoming slope is to this location at the end is going to be a positive 0.5%. So I'm just going to come in and say 0.5 and save. So that determines that the top elevation is 439.854. Okay, so basically 439.85. So at a 0.5%, that's the elevation we needed up at that point there. Now I'm going to create a temporary surface from this low flow line going out in both directions. So what I also might do is just smooth out these channels here. So I'm just going to go to edit, and I'm going to go to horizontal, and let's put basically an arc in here, and we'll put a radius of actually let's just do a PI arc. Let's do the PI arc. We'll do a radius of, let's say, 20 feet. So we'll save that. We'll do another one here, make that a PI arc, 20 feet. That way we can move these guys around. We'll maintain the arc at 25 feet. It'll be a little bit easier to work with down the road. So we can increase the radius or change it as we want. So again, we're just going to make that channel flowing through there. Okay. So I'm going to offset this line. I'm going to offset it to the left and to the right, and it's just going to be a temp line. So I'm just going to call it temporary. I'm going to put it on my miscellaneous temp layer. All right, and this is going to be critical that we do this. And I'm going to go ahead and see that that's turned off. So I'm going to come in and make sure that we turn it on. So I'm going to turn that layer on. And my offset distance is, I just want to make sure I get outside of my working area. So my offset distance can be somewhere in here, so it doesn't really matter. And my offset, vertical offset, is going to be a positive 6%. So again, this is going to define the bottom of our low flow channel. So that creates a line that goes outside of this area. Okay, and then going to come in here and offset it in this direction. All right, so I'm going to come and do the same thing. I'm going to come in and do the same thing. My offset distance, let's just come in and, oops, actually let's pick this other line. We want to pick this center line to offset. So we're going to come in somewhere in here. We don't want to go too far because we're going to have to edit this here in a little bit. So again, my offset vertical will be 6% positive. We're going to make sure we go in this direction here, and I'll hit apply. So that creates that point over there. Well, we may have to offset this and move it again, but what we're going to do with these two lines, actually these three lines, I'm going to take this line, I'm going to take this line, and I'm going to take this line. And I'm going to basically right click, and I'm going to create a surface. So I'm going to add to surface members. I'm going to create a new surface, and this new surface name is going to be pond bottom temp. Okay, and we'll click apply or OK. So now we've got a surface in here with a low flow channel. Okay, now I'm going to close, and we can leave that one there on temporarily. What I'm going to do next is I'm just going to take this top of pond here, and we're going to do a little bit more manipulating and editing. I'm going to edit this, and we will come up here. You can see I got a bunch of little vertices through here. I'm actually just going to delete this and take this back to here. So I'm just going to cancel that, and we're just going to delete all these little segments back. Okay, so there's our start point. Actually, then we'll take this start point, and we're just going to move this start point over here somewhere. All right, and then we'll take this and move him in a little bit. I will save that, and we'll do a PI arc here as well. So let's go ahead and put a PI arc there. Let's do 20 for that. All right, put a little radius on the end. Okay, so then let's come up here, and what we will do is we will move this line out, or actually create another line at the end of it. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm just going to basically just close my pond. So I'm going to come in here somewhere in this area, splitting this low flow area. We're just going to keep the elevation the way it is. So again, we'll come in here. I'm going to pick a point somewhere in here. We'll click a point somewhere in here. I'll click a point about in here. And we will add one more point here, and then I'll auto close. Actually, let's just go ahead and auto close, and then on that point there we'll do another PI arc with 20-foot radius, and we'll hit save. Now oops, I put one there. So we gotta change this this end and start point here. So what I want to do is put a, let's go PI arc there, let's go 20. So we can't have this start at that curve. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to break this actually I'm going to move this midpoint and to there, and we'll click, let's check off the auto close. Let's go back up to here. Let's add that segment in here. Let's make it straight for now. Add a segment here. Oops. Alright, so we'll go from there. We're going to insert after last. Let's make it straight. We're going to pick our coordinate right about in here. Hit save. Then we'll auto close. And then we'll change this to a PI arc of 20 as well. Okay. And let's change this guy. Move his location somewhere in the center here. Okay. Let's move them out a little bit. So again, it's just trial and error, just trying to get the shape we want, get the pond we want. Let's come in here. Let's make this a PI arc as well. We'll do 20 there. We'll do this one. Do a PI arc here. 20. And then up in here, we'll do the same thing. Let's just go PI arc with 20. Probably a little bit too much. Let's bump that down to 10. Do the same thing here. Make that 10. Okay. So then we're gonna have to do a couple other things. Our pond or our slope didn't come out far enough on these guys. So we want to pull these guys out. So I'm gonna edit this line string. And I'm just gonna project him out over here. Okay. So let's pick a new point, make sure he's outside of that line there. So we'll hit save there. We'll come back down in here, change this point and move him out a little bit as well. Okay. And then we'll change this other one. We gotta pull this guy out. So I want it so that it picks up elevations here, right? Really, we're more looking at the internal elevation is what we're trying to get. So let's take this guy and move him over here as well. Okay, so we're just moving those guys out a little bit. Not going to affect what we're trying to accomplish here, because this is our pond, and what we want to do now is we want to project this pond down to the inside of our pond here at a 3-to-1 slope. So I'm just going to go to my surface tie. I'm going to use my surface tie here, and we're just going to call this pond bot 3-to-1. Okay, and we're going to tie to the pond bottom temporary surface. The direction we're going to go is to the inside. We'll just do 10 for a spacing. We'll do a cut slope of, let's do cut slope of 3, fill slope of 3, and we'll select apply. So now you can see what it's done is it's put this tie down through here. So let's turn off our temporary bottom pond. Okay. And if we do a rebuild of the pond, or of the finished ground surface, it's now including that pond. Okay, now we got a little bit of a issue here, but we can fix that in a second. So if we do a surface slicer through here, we cut through here, you can see we've got our pond coming through our bench. We've got our low flow in there at our 6%. You know, so we're looking pretty good, right? So we can do some adjustments here. We can move this guy around. It'll readjust our surface and whatnot. But we kind of gives us an idea. What we need to determine though is this pond adequate for our storage? So we're going to do some trial and error here, make some adjustments, and determine whether we need to increase or decrease that pond. All right, and we'll clean this up as well. So we'll show you that next.